This video was brought to you by me.
The Legend of Zelda is celebrating 40 years this year. Man, I feel old. Almost all of Nintendo's consoles have had at least one, if not two or three Zelda games. Almost all. But out of all of these, there is one Zelda game that has literally stood the test of time throughout every one of these consoles, and that is Ocarina of Time. Now, do not mistake me. I'm well aware Ocarina of Time did not release on every single one of these consoles. But Ocarina of Time did have the most releases out of any other Legend of Zelda title. You don't believe me? Well, how about we actually analyze this? I'm gonna go over the prerequisites for this video first. What will count and what won't count. Let's get what won't count out of the way first. Fan ports, such as the PC port for example, will not count for this video. The only things that will count are any official release that we got here in North America. This will include any version that was released on a physical cartridge or disc, any revision, as well as any virtual console title and NSO. Now, spoiler alert, when I say NSO, I'm not going to count Nintendo Switch 1 and Nintendo Switch 2 separately. The reason being, Ocarina of Time was released on the service, but not the consoles themselves. So the individual consoles will not count, but the service will count. With all of that out of the way, let's start with the most obvious one, the Nintendo 64, which gave us the 1.0 version and the 1.1 and 1.2 versions. The 1.0 version was the very first version of Ocarina of Time, whereas 1.1 and 1.2 were revisions of the game that made a few changes and even fixed glitches and such. Now, the only distinguishing factor between 1.1 and 1.2 is the fact that you can look on the back of the cartridge for a number, and that right there will actually tell you which version you have. But between these three here, this counts as 3 releases of Ocarina of Time for one console. But it does not stop there. Next we have the GameCube. The GameCube also received 3 releases of Ocarina of Time. That's right, 3 on this one console. Those releases are the Ocarina of Time plus Ocarina of Time Master Quest disc, and the Zelda Collector's Edition disc. I did say earlier that any physical release or any version of the game that released on a physical disc counts, as well as different variants count, and Master Quest is a different variant. So both of these count. Let's start with Master Quest. Master Quest actually released here in North America as a pre-order bonus to the Wind Waker. But it's still a different version of Ocarina of Time bundled with the original version on the GameCube. So that disc counts as 2 releases. And of course, the Collector's Edition comes with Zelda 1, Zelda 2, Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask, as well as a demo for Wind Waker and a special demo for Wind Waker. But since Ocarina of Time was on this disc, it also counts as the 3rd release of the game, making 3 releases for the GameCube, 6 releases in total. Now, let's talk Virtual Console. What we have next is the Wii Virtual Console version of Ocarina of Time. This counts as the 7th release of the game. This was the only release of the game that actually happened for the Wii. Some people count the demo that was in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, but that doesn't actually count, at least not in my opinion, because that wasn't a full release, that was just a demo within another game. So as far as actual releases go, Ocarina of Time on the Wii Virtual Console counts as release number 7. Now, let's talk about the console that actually got this game, despite the fact that it was a failure, and that is the Wii U. Yep, that's right, the Wii U actually got Ocarina of Time as a Virtual Console release as well. Since a lot of people did not own a Wii U, I won't be surprised if a lot of people did not know about this. But the Wii U Virtual Console version will count for number 8 on this list. And I say it will count for number 8 on this list because I don't remember if it came before or after this next one. but I'm going to count it before this one since it's in the Virtual Console category. So, here we go. On to the next one. And that next one is the 3DS. That's right, Ocarina of Time got a remaster for the Nintendo 3DS. But there's more to it than that. This remaster included the Master Quest version as well. So, just like with the Master Quest disc on GameCube, we have a double release, making this count as both releases 9 and 10 of Ocarina of Time. I spoiled this one earlier, but the very last release that we got for Ocarina of Time was Nintendo Switch Online. Now, as I said earlier, I'm not counting Switch 1 or Switch 2 as individual releases for this, because the game released to the service, not the consoles themselves. And whenever Switch 2 came out, the service just simply carried over to that. Now, Ocarina of Time, along with quite a few other N64 games on here, did not perform perfectly at first, but they did eventually fix it, so I still think this is a fantastic way to experience Ocarina of Time personally. But this counts as release number 11 for Ocarina of Time. And that brings our grand total to 11. That's right, this one game had 11 releases throughout its history since it came out on the Nintendo 64. I hope you guys enjoyed this, because I've never seen anybody else talk about this, so I figured why not be the one to talk about it myself. And it's a very fun, interesting fact about Zelda's history, as well as the history of this game in particular. Hope to see you guys in my next video, and soon my next Let's Play.